The region is scheduled. Uh-oh, someone's recording me.
That's me.
Okay,
I'm
I
just,
suppose I'll allow that.
I
It
think
gives
for
me the
people-
option to, it gives me the option to leave the meeting.
for people who aren't here, they might want to come back and look at it.
Okay,
Okay.
and that's fine. So there's your goal. Who was it that said we needed the goal oriented? Barb? Yeah, that's our goal. And I am raising the bar kind of unilaterally in addition to that, but we're not, this is not the social focus. If we have to, when we have to Zoom, I'm going to do what I can, even though, as you know, there's not a lot we can do, but I'll do some introductory things tonight. So I'm going to approach how I handle this and how we work a little differently than you guys are used to seeing me work. Number one, we need to know that I expect everybody to be off music with the music learned and memorized, notes and words, by the end of this month. Now, for a lot of you, that should be a piece of cake because we've been singing them for a year and a half.
Mike,
Okay.
is that the competition?
The competition.
I lost you for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the contest set. Will you still love me? And as long as I'm singing my song. Okay. That's a big for the visitors, the ones that are back. That's fantastic. What it means for everybody is that there's the level of personal responsibility is now officially higher. I'm not teaching notes and words. In fact, it'll be a little while before we sing the whole songs.
Ooh.
Okay. When we come back on February 1st, everybody needs to record.
I have a question.
Yes.
Since Zoom is new and the member site has a section now on the song list that it says recording, and then it says recording. And so is that where we'll go to record? Because it
If you
says
go-
not.
No,
Yeah.
no, we'll record live in class, as it were.
Okay.
So just bring your phone and make the recording, and then you can
Okay.
we can send it. And the Matt team and I will do more digging, more talking together about exactly what we're gonna do and how we're gonna handle it. Okay. And this is, the purpose is not to cut people out of participating, but the purpose is for those of you that are doing the job, for you to be rewarded for it. And the other purpose is to get that out of the way as soon as possible. Had a lot of discussions, and you may or may not really be aware of how long it has taken us to learn music. And going into contest, we spend more time trying to figure out the notes and the words, and less time trying to get to that B+ level. I want to get to the B+ level, and I want to start working towards that in February. And then I want to work at that level for the last at least 2.5 months. That's the goal. And it's, yes, it means higher scores, but I'm not incorporating scores into that. Okay. This chorus has a tradition of excellence at competition. And that, for the most part, has been the driving force behind the chorus, I think. And we've gone a little more away from that as a constant goal held up all the time in the last few years, but I believe we have everything it takes to kick it back into gear so that the people that are elsewhere, when they hear about the chorus, they have an impression and we live up to it. And I think we're perfectly capable of that. And that's going to require more personal responsibility for everybody. So I'm not going to run the songs a billion times, especially in the next month or two. Okay. And by being off music, I mean be off music with it learned. Not it's okay, but I'll pick it up as we go. Okay. Take the time that it takes to really get that done. My goal is going to be teaching concepts and developing techniques, and I'm going to use the chorus contest pieces to do that. So to some degree, and especially at the beginning, I'm not teaching the songs. And you'll get a little bit of a taste of it tonight. I had a big introductory taste of it ready for the live one, but we'll get a little taste of it tonight. Yeah, Cheryl, you had your hand up.
You were talking about more personal responsibility. You want them really learned. And so is that taping going to be the accountability piece for that? Will we tape more than once?
That'll be the first step in the accountability.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And it's not all or nothing, and it's not a cutthroat thing. But we should be able to find out who has been willing to put some time in. And all I'm looking for on that here are the words and notes. On the website, we have recordings, very beginning recordings of the two songs. And for example, the ballad on the recording there is the one we did at retreat, and it's there's a lot of things. It was the introduction of the new interp. Okay. And what I'm looking for is that song that way, with whatever else we may have time to add, with the words and notes and no music. I don't expect you to have like a whole new choreography or any of that stuff is not involved in this. Okay. In order for me to be able to work on what I want to work on to get us up there and really get us going, that has to be taken care of now. Yeah, Josie.
You're looking for the correct breath pattern as well?
Well, I'm less than the correct breath pattern. What you need to start working on is the correct no breath pattern.
Okay.
I don't expect
Yep.
everybody to sing all the phrases.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that don't spend some time with it will automatically try to sing all the phrases because they're going to die in the places that that the chorus can't be heard, a break can't be heard for as far as the chorus is concerned. So those are things you have to plan. That's a part of the personal responsibility. In my discussions in the last few weeks, the concept of my expecting too much out of you, that may be the case, is especially as far as practicing is concerned. Okay. Practicing requires a different kind of motivation than coming to rehearsal does. And it requires a mindset and some techniques that we're going to talk about and demonstrate and work through with you in an attempt to teach you. If you all just get befuddled when you're trying to practice and you don't know what to do, okay, I'm going to let some guidelines, and that's one of the concepts that I'm going to teach like next week, really, but I'll show one, I'll introduce it tonight so that you're getting a sense of at least a start to feeling competent and being willing to do these things to help yourself get off the music and get out of it. Okay. Yeah, that was,
That was weird.
I was very forceful. And it was nice because I didn't even have to try.
I felt it into my core here. Wow.
Well, it's
I never-
working. Good.
I
Okay.
never mute if they're not talking and Mike's talking and if everyone else can mute, that would be great.
So that's a huge thing. Okay. And so this tape is not that big a deal because we're not testing how well you do the interp or how well the tempo stays in or any of that stuff. Okay. It's, do you know the notes and the words without looking at the music? That's the only way you can really focus on me when I'm working with you and as I deal with all these other things. And I don't want that to take the next 4 months before that happens, which is usually the way things have worked in the past. We've been good enough to bail ourselves out, but now I want to get better than good enough. So did you kind of, yeah. All right. So the tracks on there are good, and the the Matt team, we still have a couple tracks that aren't up there yet. We don't have all the Matt people here tonight, but if you're one of the ones that doesn't have one up there yet, I want it up by Sunday. Okay. And I need it as good as you can do it under the circumstances. The ballad is going to be not exactly, where it's going to be, but that's okay. We got to get these tools out to everybody at the level and the stage that they're at. Then we will continue to improve them as we go. And the new people can get the improvements as we go. Okay. All right, so I got through there. Ooh, that jumped me ahead of my lovely little list of things. After this month is going to be basically those two songs at that level. Okay. Pardon me. And that will free us up when we hit February to really start rolling. And we are singing, I think, at a B level now. And we will be doing that at the beginning of February. And by the end of March, I want to feel and see B+. Then we've got 2 or 3 months to drill B+, rather than not try and hope for B+ 2 weeks before contest. Ooh, Mike's talking scores, talking levels like that. What's happened? I've lost weight, so my brain is heavier than it used to be because the brain stayed big.
Lauren has her hand up.
Yes, Lauren.
For what it's worth, I really appreciate this, Mike, that it seemed like you gave us time and the show was a good motivation. And also, I know that you let a lot of things slide. I saw and heard things during the show that I'm like, oh, come on, like we could have done better, or like tighter choreography for literally the 2 moves we had on a song,
Yeah.
But I also think that was necessary, at least for me personally, coming out of, oh no, there's feedback.
No,
I
go
forgot
ahead.
how much I hate this. Is that it was necessary, and our brains and my brain is muddled, and just the grace that I really appreciate you. And I know that must have been really a cognizant choice from you and the Matt team. So thank you to those of you who did that. And now I'm ready. Now I'm ready to go. And I appreciate the kick in the pants, and like the deadline for me is so valuable. And I also think there's going to be a lot of choruses not participating this year or who can't. And I'm really sorry that's a privilege we have. And also we can take advantage of that, be cutthroat about it. That's just me as being a competitive person.
I understand. Yes, it's been difficult. And what I'm telling you tonight is difficult too. Because really putting hard deadlines out and pulling myself away from from teaching and picking up stragglers as I go goes against the educational bones in my body. But I think it's imperative that we move there for the benefit of you guys that are still around, that have hung out here and made it through what's happened so far. We're obviously not done with this thing, but we need a different mindset to, because the reason that you're here and stayed around is, I hope, to get better and to support each other and make sure that you are making sure that you're holding up your end of the bargain on behalf of the gals that are standing around you and not pulling them down.
And I think
That's a
if you don't mind me,
responsibility.
and I think that's kind of what was good and also a detriment, is like there was that accountability piece missing. And that was, again, that's the times we lived in and what we could handle mentally.
Yeah.
And that is a really hard thing to be flexible with these times. Lord knows. I
Yeah.
work with students too.
I was gonna say, yeah.
And that said, that accountability piece of someone not saying, dude, you missed your move, or sorry, man, you missed your note, actually was, well, no one said anything, so I'm not going to do it. That's me personally. This is not a critique for anyone. This is just me speaking from the heart. So I think I really appreciate your words and the balance that you and I know other people have taken, and obviously given it a lot of thought, that this is not an easy time. And I do not envy any of the decisions you all have to make. And I really hear the heartfelt and appreciation. So thank you. I hope I'm not the only one that speaks like this, but that's just my 10 cents. And I can't imagine. It's hard, and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that too. Yeah, Larry. You're muted still.
Yeah,
There you go.
I was trying to get it unmuted.
I know,
Well,
you
I
look
just-
as focused as I feel when
I
I'm
know.
trying to find those things. Where are they?
I just wanted to say that coming from somebody who has been in the chorus before, and it's been many years, like almost a lifetime, it feels like, being away, my desire and want to get into a chorus that is competitive. I have so many competitive bones in my body that I am missing competition and something that I really enjoy. And so I really appreciate just the little bit that I've heard so far. It makes me really excited to want to go forth. I mean, I'm going to be making some really, it'll be a really big decision for me of whether I want to jump in and go for it or what. And so I really appreciate knowing right up front, yeah, I'm going to be expected to do this and this by this time, and that I need those deadlines too. I like that. So for me, that's good. It's all good.
Good,
All
thank
sounds
you.
great to me.
Thank you. Yes, Carrie.
So I remember reading in the Intune or eBlast or whatever that they're planning on contest with no masks.
The last that I heard was that, and Jody can answer this and tell everybody I'm lying, but the last I heard was at this point in time, the goal is to sing with no masks, but wear masks in the hall.
Yeah. So my question is then, how do we figure out a way to practice with no masks?
That has to be part of the transitional process. We're still at that point where we're going to be masked as we sing. And as we get into, I would say we'll see what's happening in a couple of months and then make some adaptations as we go. But that's the goal, because those are the circumstances we're going to be, assuming everything stays the same, we're going to be allowed to participate under those circumstances. So I will prepare you as best I can to do that.
Okay.
That's why we wore the masks the whole time and didn't get on the risers, going into the show because we weren't allowed to do that. So I didn't want to, get false sounds and false things going on and
Yeah.
working towards that goal.
'Cause I know we'll sound different without a mask than with a
Yes,
mask.
ma'am.
So,
Yep.
Mike, the other thing, and Jody may have more to say about this because of her role, but I think it's fair to remember that in Washington State, the guideline is that if there is a group of more than 1,000 people in an audience, they have to be either immunized or tested on the way in.
yeah.
So immunization status is going to become more of an issue.
Very true.
Not for us, but for many and many choruses, that will be a huge issue. Jody, anything you want to say about that?
Yes, what is happening now is both the hotel and the convention center, they are only requiring masks at this time. And as we know, this can change month to month. So we are just, we're going with what it is now. But we did also, my facilities person on the team, she checked with both the hotel and convention center. And like was stated in the last e-blast, the convention e-blast that went out last month, at this time, is singers and hosts on stage can be without masks if they so choose. But if you're not doing one of those things, then you have to wear a mask. And then as far as the attendance, our average attendance has been, and that's including guests and everything, roughly has been lately, it's been more in the past, but lately it's been in the 850 range. And at this point in time, with what we know, with the polls that we've already taken, and again, that can change month to month, but with what we know right now, the attendance we're expecting is anywhere between 650 and 800. So we, at this point, are below the 1,000, and that was also taken into consideration with what we are moving forward with at this point. We are also going to be working on looking at being prepared with either proof of vaccination or a recent negative COVID test. That is just going to be a preparation. We're going to know for sure early on if that's going to definitely be added in. Where the good thing is, one of the gals on our competition chair, she is going to be going to the men's midwinter where they are requiring all those things. So that's the middle of this month, and she's going to give us some feedback with that. So it's a month to month thing. So we just appreciate everybody's patience with what we're having to deal with because of this.
Cool. Thank you, ma'am.
You're
It's
welcome.
good to have people that know stuff. Yeah, and the whole vaccination thing is difficult. Just throw out one thing that I was just told recently, and I don't know how average this move is, but Scottsdale is requiring all the vaccinations or you can't be in the chorus. And I know that's because they're dealing with this, a level, a level that they feel they have to do that in order to go there. And it's not a cut on anybody who chooses not to do it, but they're not letting them participate with them. And they can sing somewhere else. So we'll see. We're not at that point yet, but yes, Jess lead.
Hey. And then that also throws in a wrench. I was looking at, I know that they're kind of contemplating on changing what fully vaccinated means. So I don't know if that's going to take into account later
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
But I think that's like a huge government issue right now too. So, but I don't know if that's going to.
Everything is a huge government issue.
Oh
right
yeah.
now.
But I just wasn't
Everything
sure if SIA was thinking about that as well, like saying that,
Yeah,
we will
go with what is
what we
what
are
is
told.
recommended. Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. And that's another restriction we had at the church. We were required to use that venue to be masked. And I didn't have any problem with going there. And you guys made it through and sang very well in spite of it.
Right.
And so I was glad we had plenty of time to practice and get used to it. So that's where I'm coming from and where we are at this point in time on that too. Okay. So what do I mean by concepts and what I'm going to teach? And I will tell you right now, tonight's, at least the first half of tonight's rehearsal in a live context, was the focus of the concept for tonight, still is, because we're going to deal with it a little bit as best we can under these circumstances, is to reiterate energizing the end of the phrases. That means if everybody's singing the same thing going to the end, it means if your part is being held while another part is moving and you have to cut it at an end, okay? And I'm going to incorporate that within the context of the warm-up stuff at a basic level. And then, and the one for that, and that we'll probably do tonight, although the big problem with tonight is I can't help anybody. You do it or you don't do it. Okay. But hopefully, to some degree tonight, you'll be able to start analyzing what you're doing in your practice session. And you'll have at least one or two more guidelines to that so that you can work on, it's not just about notes and words, but that's the most basic starting point. And so the thing that I was going to do and we'll be doing for a while are long tones. And I was going to hold them to a 16 count out and eventually go through it a few times. Okay. Talk about sound, talk about word placement and what's going on with that whole thing. And then with 16 counts, the last four, you have to increase the intensity. You have to move the placement forward, like we did talk about when we're getting loud and when we're crescendoing. Okay, you have to give it added space. You have to do those technical things so that those last four counts are an obvious increase in intensity before with the cutoff. Then we take that into the song. The first thing was to do the intro of the ballad to measure 5. And at the end of that, the top 3 parts are holding and the basses take a breath and do the next entry. And the top 3 parts have to increase that energy through that. And they have to cut off at exactly the right point. And that cutoff point has to be at a more intense level than any of the phrase before. And you have to understand as an individual what you have to do to make sure you have air to make that happen. If you're just following along and singing these long phrases, you're going to go the opposite way, and that's a detriment to the chorus. So you have to figure out where you can breathe so you're able to make those things happen at the end. Make sense? Okay. I don't expect you to sing all the phrases especially when you're doing it by yourself. Okay. Because if you're like me, well, like I used to be, it was hard for me to make myself focus really on the technique that I was using so that I was singing the way I needed to sing with a quartet. Yes, Ann.
Mute. Okay. I'm concerned about the quality of sound in those last 4 counts.
That's correct.
I can, so many ways I could attempt that. I can use too much abdominal
Right.
belter. I can go operatic soprano. I can all this, or I can go on muscle memory from what was successful with you before or other directors before.
Right.
So I'm really concerned about the quality of sound. You know what though? I got to get there first.
Okay. Yeah. And that I can't help you in this format there because I can't hear you. However, in rehearsal, you're going to get feedback from me like in normal live rehearsals.
Yeah, you're good at
And if-
finding me.
I work at it. And if I don't hear it happening, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah,
Tonight, when we do one, you don't have to work at all. You can make that choice because I can't hear what you're doing. I can't help you and I can't criticize you. And you can be as lazy as you want. That's what I hate about this format. That's what I'm talking about personal responsibility. Yeah, Ann.
well, maybe we should record ourselves on our phone at the same time as the Zoom meeting so that we can hear what everybody else hears. Because I used to tell the people in my voice classes, you hear 70% through muscle and bone,
That's correct.
and you don't hear what everybody else hears till you record yourself.
That's right. And they hate it. And we hate it when we do that till we have convinced ourselves that this is a good sound that we make and this is not so good. We don't dwell on the not so good. We deal with repeating things and doing
Okay.
it well.
One
Yeah.
more, one
Okay.
more, and then
Yes.
I'll quit talking. In the
Yeah,
years of
right.
voice, in the years of voice lessons, I needed somebody else to tell me that in the muscles that I was feeling and the word pictures and the brain games and the setup, the physiological setup and the brain games you play in that physiological setup to get the sound, I needed somebody outside to say, remember that push save, which was what I paid all that money for voice lessons for.
Right.
I need that.
Right. And that's a skill that any of us individually have got to start developing to self-critique,
Well,
be able to self-critique. And that's correct. That's correct. You listen. If you don't like it, which I've spent a whole lot of my life not liking it,
yeah.
then you have to choose, okay, can I, how can I make some changes? Okay. And that's all part of the practice process. Okay. And so I'll get into more of that as we're going. Yes, Taffy. Unmute. Unmute.
Got it. All right, unmute. So on the website, there is a section that has vocal exercises. Are those applicable in this case?
They are. They're fantastic.
Okay, all right.
If
Just
you were to
checking.
pick a couple of them and spend 5 minutes doing 2 or 3 at whatever level, or listen to them and find one that you like to do, because they range in difficulty and they range in purpose, and do 5 minutes every other day on that, you'd be amazed at what happens.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thanks. Good to know.
Ann, you had your hand up?
Yes, I did. Actually, the last time that we did what they were talking about, we were paired up, and actually it was paired up with somebody we normally don't specifically interact with, and we were watching just them
Mhm.
and listening to just them as best we could, either close up or watching us on the risers, and then we had that discussion. That was so effective.
Yeah. Welcome to teaching techniques.
I loved it. I mean, we did it. We actually did it. And I thought, I want to do that more. I want to do duetting more. I love
Good.
that kind of, so, okay.
Good. Okay. So in the rehearsal tonight, I was going to do the intro to the intro, on the ballot, the intro to measure 5, and then measure 5 to 9, 9 to 12, 12 to 17, and 17 to 21. And that's what I was going to do and what I will do next week during that time of rehearsal, and giving you feedback on it and hearing how it works, and is it together, is it not, and actually drilling and working those things. And the number one thing about practicing is singing from the beginning to the end with a song with a recording is not practicing. Practicing is taking a piece of it and going through it and reviewing how you think you did, or recording yourself and listening and vomiting and then trying it again. Okay. Until the vomit part stops and you start building and you start getting so that you are analyzing yourself without just destroying yourself. And the destruction is what most of us do immediately. Again, I know, okay? And so I'll take you through the ballad, the intro to Measure 5 tonight, and do some things, and I'll try and do, I'll actually go through the process at the same time, and you can listen to me. Oh no. And I'll do it to myself to give you some more sense of what I'm talking about and how to start thinking. And it's not something that's going to be perfect immediately. It's not something that you're going to feel comfortable with immediately. The key is, are you willing to take the responsibility to try to do those things so that you are helping the people around you rather than hurting the people around you? Josie.
So just an observation, for the section leaders who have taken the responsibility of making learning tracks. So Chris sends us the chorus singing, and we listen to that in our ear, but then we sing our part alone to record. And I have to say, the process of doing that, we end up doing exactly what you just said, over and over and over until we get something that is acceptable, to help our section learn the notes, knowing that it's not perfect, but it's the best we have for right now. So, maybe just a word of thought as people are recording themselves, pretend in your mind that you are making a section, a recording track that your section is going to learn from.
I would die.
Well, I'm just saying that yes, it's scary. It is scary.
Yes.
But the repetitiveness of doing it over and over until it becomes acceptable is extremely a huge learning process.
That's practice.
Yeah.
That's what practice is.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe I'll try and I will see. I listened to a blog and they were talking about a study on practicing. What is it? Why is it that some people succeed in practicing and others don't? And it had to do with kids. Okay, but there is no difference. There is no difference when it comes to this. And so we'll see. I may throw that out or give that information out to you. It ends up exactly the way I knew it would. And it reinforced what I thought, which is always nice. I like that. Okay. And so then I would do, that's as far as I got in the rehearsal setup for tonight before I put that aside because I had to deal with this. And so I will continue and fill that out. But that's exciting, okay? And so what you're going to see from me in rehearsal time, especially for the next 4 rehearsals, 3-4 rehearsals, is going to be, you are going to practice with me. And so there may be a gap in that you don't get to sing through the whole song, because we can't practice every measure of every song every week with this in this format. That's why the division of power, as it were. Okay, so that the notes and words are that separate thing. Okay, that's what I'm looking at and where I intend to go. And I hope to take all of you with me. Yes, Cheryl.
Would it be helpful for us to bring our recorders and record our at least parts of our rehearsal or the whole rehearsal?
Always. I don't think the whole rehearsal would be beneficial because you're not going to sit and listen to the whole rehearsal. But after we've gone through something 2 or 3 times, or if there's a section that's a problem, and you think yeah, I need to spend some time on that. Okay, then you can, if you were to record yourself knowing that it sucks, okay, and then you come back and you can work that out without having everybody have to work on the same part that you know, or that you have to work on when they have other things they need to work on.
So is it fair to say voice recorders are expected on the riser or at rehearsal?
I haven't gone there yet, but I don't have a problem. If you want me to put that into those words, I can do that. Okay. That's one of the ways that I can tell where your personal responsibility level is. Okay. Again, and it's not for cutting people out or weeding it out or anything. It's for bringing everybody up. So let's do that first part of the ballad.
Mike, can I interrupt for a quick second?
You may.
What part am I singing? It's Sherry.
Oh.
Sorry.
If
Or
you're
no, yet.
if you're good with it, I'd love to keep you on the bass part.
Okay.
We need that support.
I'm fine
there.
with it. I just needed to know what part I'm singing.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have one question. Is there any way to, because I'm really leaning, I'm about 85% sure that I'm going to jump on board, but is there any way that I can get a hold of the music so that when I do make that decision finally and it's a go, that I'm already,
Yes.
that I'm not arriving, you know, at the first time going, oh, does somebody have music?
Right. Right. Well, we have guest music for everybody when we're live, but I don't have a problem.
Something that I can take home.
Right. No, I understand that. Well, the guest book, we allow that too, but you mean right now? Knowing you.
Yeah, well, I just figured that was not possible. So
Yeah, no.
I'm talking about like tomorrow, if I could get a hold of it or.
Yeah.
Lori, I've got your email
We can work that
address.
out.
I'll send you the.
Okay, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, that's great. And part of that, as far as with whom you work, will depend on what part.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I gotta figure that out.
Yeah, and that's okay. If you want to be 100, I'll be totally honest with you. I would love to, if you're feeling comfortable with it, have you sing bass.
I just am,
We can-
I think I'm comfortable with it, but I don't really know if I have that range. I think I do.
Right. I understand. And this one goes
Alice
down.
might be able to tell you.
This one goes to an E flat. So if Cheryl, if you can, if we can work it so she can get the ballad and maybe the bass track or something, so you can try that and see how it works
Okay.
as a starting point. Yeah, Karen.
I would personally recommend that you send a couple of the part tapes to her so she can sing them both and see which one is going to be a possibility for her. That way she's not just stuck with one and realizing, oh, I can't do this one. So I'd say,
yeah, that's fine with me.
Send her.
And I definitely, if bass does work, I would love to try bass because I've never, I think I have the range for
Sure.
it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and we can see what happens. That's good. And if you have my okay for what it's worth, Cheryl, to send her more if you want to of the tracks, just like Karen said. Okay? Kind of depends on how deep you want the end to be in the first week. How deep you want the pool to be. Okay. And so again, on the website, the tracks are there, and there is the recording that we made of the chorus, the best we could at the time. Okay. Most of you, I would hope have the notes and words down, and you can sing along with the other one. And just a repetition, memorizing is analyzing the patterns in the song, both note-wise and word-wise, and thinking them through. And for a while, watching and seeing visually what's going on and getting used to, and that's basically repetition. Memorization is the hardest part for me. Okay. So that's just a point there. So you
Mike,
can, yeah,
there's a quick question. Everybody's asking to make sure they have the right version of
I
the
was, yeah,
song.
good.
And
You-
October 19th is the right one. And the only change that I see between the 9th and the 19th, as you changed measure 32, as long as I'm singing my song, to no breath in measure 32. And that's the only difference I see between October 9th and October 19th version.
No breath in 32.
That's correct.
Well, there's no breath until 31 for the top three voices, but the basses have a breath before their pickup note at the end of 32.
Right, but we originally all were breathing at 32. Add some
Okay.
baritone breath, the best part, you took that out, and we're
Yes.
breathing after that, and that's what you changed in
Oh,
October
wait
9th.
a minute. That's not 32.
As long as I'm singing my song, measure 32.
Oh,
Add-
I'm looking at the ballad. Because
Oh.
that's what I was going to go into. So,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. The ballad version that's up, everybody, the version that's on is the most recent one.
Right,
So if you don't have what it says, that this one, gain edit / mic 9321.
yeah,
That's the version for Will You Still Love Me.
yeah,
I'm not even going to get into the uptune tonight, but that's
Okay.
good to know.
Okay.
Okay. So whatever, if you print off a new one, that's correct. If you haven't done that for a while, then I would recommend doing that just to make sure you're on top of it.
Thank you.
There have
That
been
helps
changes.
because there were a lot of versions for a while, which I really do appreciate. And if it's just a breath, I'm happy to mark that instead of trying to keep track of which version. So I
Right.
really do appreciate the dates, and I'll print out the 10/19/2021. Thank you.
Yeah, and the uptune has a key change in it that's not in the recording. And so part of what I'll be teaching will be that. Because that key change took place after the run through at the retreat. So that's, if you don't get, don't worry about that key change at this point in time. Sing it as it's written. That's what I'll be listening for, unless I have a chance to teach you all in class before that recording happens. I promise not to try and throw new things new at you and hold you responsible for them when you haven't had the chance to deal with it. Yes, Josie.
So we did get a revised recording at chorus.
Of the uptune?
The uptune with the key change. And so
Okay.
at least I know from a bass standpoint, the bass track on the website is correct with the key change.
Good. So would you check for me and see if your printed copy, which has the key change, lines up with the one that's on the website? And if
I
you
will.
have, and if you have another format of it, another recording of it, connect with Cheryl or Carrie about the possibility of getting it from you and uploading that onto as the one that's in the file on the website.
I'll compare them tomorrow and I can do
Okay.
that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, Alice.
Because what I'm looking at here on the Uptune, it's updated October 19th, 21, and on measure 41, it is the key change. So the music or the sheet music has the key change.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the recording was
Okay.
was what I didn't think had it. Yeah. Edits October 9, 2021 is the correct sheet music, and it's up there as long as I'm singing. And that
Yeah.
has the key change in it.
October
So,
1921.
yep,
'Cause I have October 1921.
it's
and
in
it's got the
red.
key change
Yep.
on it.
Yes.
Says
Yeah.
edits October 9th, 2021.
But there's one that says October 19th, that's newer on there. 19th,
Yeah,
not the
you've
9th.
you've got an October 19 one.
All right,
Yep.
I will follow up and make sure I have the right one then.
And
Thank you.
the 19th one is the one that matches, at least I know, the bass recording on the website.
Okay, yeah, and the 9th has the key change and stuff in it. So, but I will check mine to make sure I have the right one. Thank you.
That's
Cindy?
why I said the only change I saw between the 9th and the 19th was measure 32. There is no breath.
Okay,
If that was the change. So yeah,
yeah,
everything else was the same.
perfect. Perfection. Yes, Cindy.
Oh, just a little footnote. You were talking about the bass section and if you've got that little spot on the riser still for someone else rejoining that bass part, the bass section, I think there might be another one.
That would be cool. We have one with your name on it. I have some blank spaces that I'd be more than happy to fill
Hey,
in all the voice parts. So yeah, that would be cool. Okay. Even some of the wonderful surprises like tonight, like with Lori here with us. So yay. Okay. So back to Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? Would you please, Cheryl, play for me just the first 5 measures? And not what it means is just stopping at the end there. It's,
I'm not Cherie, who is the genius at this.
right. That's okay.
It's not
She's not with us.
She's not with us.
And if it doesn't work, then I can't, then I'll try and talk you through it.
I'm kind of stuck here. I've got something stuck on my.
That would be gum.
Wait. Cancel. Okay. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm almost there. What am I playing now, Mike?
Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow?
Uh-huh.
Just the beginning, just the intro.
I need to share the whole screen. You don't want to see my whole screen. And
assuming she's able to do this, and we talked about this earlier, the two of us did, and I told her if it takes a while to figure out how to make this happen, then everybody will patiently wait.
okay, the full chorus.
Yeah, and
Can you
we'll
hear it?
just listen to it a couple times. Yeah. That's all we need, Cheryl. That's good. Yeah, just to tonight, just up to that point. Okay, so now I want you to listen to that again, and the concept now tonight is the the practice, but the concept what we're practicing is what's happening on the word love in the fourth measure. Okay, I want you to analyze what you hear and or don't hear. Okay, so would you play it again, please, for us? Okay, that's
can't
good.
hear it.
Now,
We can't hear it.
could you play it again? Because we didn't get the volume that would work.
Yeah, I think you have to choose use computer sound or something. Not sure.
Let me
Okay.
hold on. Let me see if
We'll-
there's another
We'll
little.
give her a chance to try and do that. Basses. This is another addition to that. Okay. And that is when you sing love before your breath for the pickup in measure 4, do not finish the word. Sing only love tonight. Don't put the V on. Bass section. Everyone else is still holding and increasing the intensity and cutting off exactly when the basses start the word night, and you cut off with that consonant. But basses don't finish the word there. Otherwise, we get love, 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 love. We get a couple of them, and I don't want them. So
Okay, can you hear me, Mike?
I can.
I have share sound clicked. But let me share, I think you may get my whole whiteboard or my whole thing, so ignore it all, but let's see if this is better.
That already is better.
Okay.
And that's
Yep.
perfectly good. Okay, stop. Yeah, and this form, leave it right where it is, because we're not looking at that anyway at the screen. We should be looking at our music. Okay, so what did you hear on love? Go ahead and speak out. Feel free to unmute yourself and say something, because I can only see four of you.
Mike,
Yes.
Mike, it's Ann.
Yep.
I don't know if I wanted to hear it, but I heard a slight VE on the breath for when the basses came in. I don't know if we just got lucky or I'm wanting to hear it, but I thought I heard it. Slight.
You mean when they sang night?
When they start, yeah, I heard.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
We're
what I
not
thought.
looking. We're not looking for slight. We're
Well,
not
that's what I'm
looking
thinking.
for-
I don't know if I'm reading
I understand
into
that.
it. So
I
I don't
understand
know.
that. I'm teaching now. Okay.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Then
We're
no.
practicing, and slight. If I'm thinking so hard that I make myself hear it, that's not good enough.
Okay, so that I did.
So that would require repetition
Got it.
until you knew it was happening. Okay. Anybody else hear anything there? Yeah, Josie.
So I think love died at the end. And I don't know if it was because we were waiting for you to give us the pickup for the basis to do tonight, or it was just unsure.
Right. And that may have been, however, that should not have affected the top three voices, because they're holding on past when you take your breath anyway. And it had a tendency to stop. I could tell once we sang the word love, the phrase was over.
Mm-hmm.
But Mike said we have to keep singing, so we're going to keep singing. So from a practice standpoint, you need to be listening to your part actually more than anything else. But so I would say I would take us back and do it again. Okay. So let's listen to it again, and then we're gonna let you sing it with it. All right, good. So now I want all of you to mute that, and we're going to do that again. And I want you to sing it with the timing there. And I want you to focus on this time through. I want you to focus on the word love. And as you're singing that word, I want you to take and change your focus so that the sound is coming more forward. Love, love. Can you tell that there's more sound and there's more intensity in that sound? Okay. So once you are on that note, your job is to make those alterations so that you are adding to the intensity of that note. And I'm not asking you to sing it louder. Okay. I'm not even asking you to finish it yet. Okay. So try that. And you all should all be muted, and go ahead and play it. And Cheryl, after we get to that part, just go ahead and stop it. And I'm going to keep mine on all the time just so I can not lose you. Okay. So you need now to analyze what you did. Could you feel a change happening? If you did, great. Then on the next time, I want you to do that same thing, but I want you to try and keep the back space open. The tendency when we do that is to close everything down and force the sound forward. Okay. So if you think you really felt and heard yourself make that change that we're looking for, fantastic. Then your next step is to try and do that without losing that space in the sound. So try that again.
I'm a baritone, Mike. I'm getting my markers out.
Good for you.
Yeah, okay. Here.
Just don't mark on the computer screen. Okay. Hopefully you all got more of a feeling of that. Okay. And I'm going to move on to a couple other things, but you cannot lose that. And if you didn't feel yourself doing that yet, then still focus on that before you really add the rest. Okay. Basses, you have to do the same thing before you breathe, so that there's more intensity on your dotted quarter note there on love. Love tonight, rather than love tonight. Okay, even though there's no consonant there when you finish that, supposedly. Okay, but the ending of that has to be a lift into the breath. Okay.
Mike, it's very
Yes.
difficult to tell where to come in on tonight.
You're right.
For this, is that something you're going to give us a cue?
Oh yeah, yeah. When I'm directing, you'll be able to tell what's going on,
Okay.
and that's perfectly okay. Those are things that we're limited because of this format. So just try to make that happen. And
Yeah.
if one time you go too long, oh well, the world won't end.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Is that beginning note, that beginning bass note, is that the E flat?
That's the E
Is
flat.
that
Yes.
as low as it goes?
Yes.
Oh, that's a piece of cake. I can do that.
Okay. Cool. What kind of cake?
Vanilla.
Yeah. Okay. I'll still accept that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. So basses also where you
Mike?
go. Yes. Go ahead, Alice.
In measure 3 with, on the word your, your,
With the ooh.
your,
No,
I
not
feel
your.
the chorus is, as a whole, is not, it seems an unsure note, not the note, but an unsure timing.
Correct.
As to when we move. So
Good.
I'm feeling a hesitancy on that word.
Good. You were
The
hearing
course is not
correctly
comfortable with.
how
I
long it
am?
is. Yes, you're hearing it. You're hearing what's really happening, and that's good. Okay. And that also that's an extension of the ending the last note of the phrase by getting more intense. Every time you have a note that's longer than a quarter note in this song, you should be doing the same thing.
Okay.
Will I be your only? So there's a crescendo into the next note. And that's again, the more you do that, the more you listen to it, the more you remember that we're practicing this phrase. But what we do on this phrase applies to everything, everywhere. Amen. Okay. All right.
So it's supposed to be held for 2 counts. Are you holding it for 2 counts, or are you being ad lib with it,
This is ad
or
lib.
what's your deal? What's your deal with that?
This is ad lib. And so I'm
Okay.
not holding it now because, and you can't stay with me. You can listen to this so many times that you get used to where it's going. Okay. But that's not the purpose, especially of today's exercise. Okay. If the sync is out now, it doesn't matter. Just try and sing technically and make the technique happen. That's the purpose of this. That's the purpose of this practice session. It's not to be totally lined up with everybody else. Purposes like these are going to be smaller and set up this way, and then we build on them. Okay. Let's do that again that way, please. Good. Now I want to add one thing to the top three parts. So basses, the same thing that we talked about. You want to make sure you're happening on going into those long notes and on all those long notes, okay? Top three parts in measure, at the beginning of measure 2, really it's at the end of measure 3, of 1, okay? And at the beginning of measure 5. I want your ending of the notes to catapult the basses into their note. So I'll sing the lead part. Magic moments, magic moments. And that opens me up to take the breath, and it gives energy for the basses to come in on their A. And all top three parts, because you've got that rest coming. You cannot start the rest early. You cannot lose energy before that rest. The basses are going boom on the rest, and you have to go boom with your ending and silence.
Mike,
Yes.
can you get really close to the camera? I need to see if your mouth is open on what you just taught us.
Sure.
What we're supposed, the mouth shape that we have at the very end of measure 1,
Right.
is it with open
Yes,
mouth?
it is. Otherwise, yes, I'll do it without the open mouth.
Okay, okay.
Magic moments. Okay, you
Okay.
hear the energy or lack thereof at the end? Okay. Magic moments in the, and so I am taking the breath, the TS that I'm putting there is propelling my mouth to be open and the breath to come in. Because I don't have to, as long as, if all I do is open my mouth, the breath comes in because of the outside air pressure. I don't have to suck the air in. I
But
don't
actually,
do, I
Mike,
don't do magic moments. Could you tell I stopped it and then I sucked it in? Magic moments in the, yes, Ann.
and actually, the basses
Karen.
have to do the same thing at moments going into our end.
Correct.
It doesn't change anything for us there.
No, it
Yeah.
does not. Yep. Yes, Annie.
It's like a full mouth with an NTS.
Exactly.
It doesn't close anything down.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's the case 90% of every time you stop singing, it should be that way.
Well, you started
Regardless,
out telling us with what we need to do at the end of 4, so I know that's coming.
correct. Yeah, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm taking
Okay.
that and expanding it within this phrase
Yes.
and practicing it in this phrase. Okay? So let's go ahead now and add those to it.
I can't hear Cheryl. Are you muted, Cheryl?
Okay. Cheryl, did you mute you?
I can't hear anything.
But I have been
There.
muted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think if you mute you, you're in trouble, Cheryl.
Okay,
So
then I
you may
won't
not
sing.
be able to, you may not be able to sing with
I
us.
think I
Yeah.
was muted before, but that's okay. I'll do it again right now.
Okay.
Ready?
So then the same thing, that VUH on love, only love. I have a long time to breathe, but I end open and I finish the word. Otherwise it's love. There's this drop and the word doesn't end. And we want that lifted energy every time without exception. Okay, take it.
Good.
Now that recording actually does a decent job of ending that love at the right place. Okay. So whoever those people were, they were doing an acceptable job. the sad part for me is I can't hear you. I can't hear any improvement you've made, in this format. Okay. But that's practicing. Now, if you do that much 3 or 4 times and really focus on those things and then quit, that's fine. But you have to make sure that you are thinking about what you're doing and that you are really attempting to nail it correctly. Okay. You've all heard the perfect perfect practice makes perfect. Well, imperfect practice makes what you're doing no better than when you started practicing it. And that's the difficult part, is being in control of what you're doing to that level. That's what the big girls do.
That's why we're here.
Okay, let's go ahead and get that off the screen, because I'm ready to call it a night. If I've made some points, the points that I'm talking about, okay? So the rehearsals are going to have a lot of this, and it's better when it's live and I'm there, because I can hear what you're doing. I can help you learn how to hear what you're doing, rather than just saying go back and listen. Like that's all I can do in this format. Okay. And if we take, a chunk of time on this and a chunk of time on the uptune, that's going to make big progress. And by practicing a bit of it, the concept becomes embedded in you, and you can transfer that to the other parts of the song where the same thing needs to apply. Hi, Toby. Hi, Toby.
Dog.
Yeah, that's Tammy, only it's Toby on her lap. Yes, Anne.
Thank you. I heard breathing. That we're going to work on a lot, but
Yep.
not tonight. And I noticed at the end of 4, which is where you said that we were going to start tonight and concentrate tonight. There's no diphthong, there's no swipe. The vowel doesn't change. All
Right.
we have to do is tip it forward and put more of a, I don't want to say cone, but I
More
want to
focus
say
in the sound.
focus.
Yeah.
And put the V in the right place.
That's right. And that will lead the intent, that will increase the intensity and finish having you sing through the phrase, which everybody and their dog always tells everybody and their dog. And I've told all of you
Toby?
dogs that same thing for years.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions or thoughts on that? You can go ahead and
Mike?
unmute if you want. Yeah. Was that Cheryl?
Yeah, no, it's
Yep.
Jody.
Oh, Jody. Yeah.
Yeah, so yes, that you can pat yourself on the back, because that definitely helped me, because I was having problems with that word love and knowing when to end it after the basses were doing their little pickup thing. But just with you talking about increasing, and it was like the first time I did it, bingo, it was right there. So that definitely helped me. So thank you.
Good. You're welcome. Anyone else? Okay, cool. I have one more thing that I would like to ask of you. Cheryl has a questionnaire. Actually, it's a question in poll form that you can answer in the chat. And it will come to me, no one else. And anybody that's not here tonight, I will call and ask the same question one-on-one to them.
So Mike, I put
Okay.
the link in the chat room, and I think we want you to go there right now. This won't take you long.
No,
We'll go
it's
right now.
and
But if you go there, you leave Zoom,
the
because I
chat
just
room.
tried to do it.
You tried?
Yeah, if I went into the chat room and I went to that link and it said you are leaving Zoom. Do you want us to leave Zoom, say bye-bye and go do this,
Laura.
or what?
What do we do, Laura?
We raise our finger. That's
Copy
what she said.
and
No,
then
I-
paste
I
it into a new tab.
I clicked through just fine.
I did too.
Oh,
Okay.
did you? Okay.
Okay. Well, we can
All right,
make
well-
that regardless, and just in case, we can make that the last thing that we do tonight. Okay.
When in doubt, right click. Use your right click button and it'll give you the option to open in a new tab is what Jess was saying.
Okay. So,
Oh,
so,
okay.
so before that end, now I didn't, will you read the question? Because I didn't go there because I heard a, uh-oh, and so I stopped.
I don't have it written down right here. Hold on, let me see if I had it.
I know what I want to
I don't know
ask.
how to do this.
Here's what something to this effect. We want one sentence. Mike wants one sentence. In one sentence, tell us what your primary reason is for being in this chorus, in Spirit of Spokane chorus. What's your primary reason? Not 100 reasons, just
And I don't need an explanation of a bunch of things. All I want is whatever comes into your head that meets that criteria. Okay. Yes, Ann,
It's not on my chat. Do I send it in an email? I have an Apple.
you can
I
do
have
that.
a MacBook Pro, which doesn't right click.
Well, just if you click on that and it sends you away and you don't get a chance to answer it, then yes, send
Okay.
me an email. That's fine.
All right. Thanks.
Jessica, what are you thinking?
What are you grinning about,
Just
Jessica?
copy the link, just click on it, copy it, and then open a new tab, paste, enter, and then you should be good.
And Thurman, I'm on
Okay, so that's easy for you.
in your chat down below where it says more chat. Go there, right there, Survey Monkey.
And if it doesn't work, if
I'll
you're
look
like
for-
me and it
okay.
doesn't work, then send me an email.
Click on it.
Okay?
Yeah,
Because
I-
I wouldn't want you to learn too many things tonight.
I have I'm on my iPad and I clicked on it in the chat and I
Okay.
was able to do it and stay in
Great.
Zoom.
Okay,
So
that's
it'll
perfect.
been- It should work
That's
for
good
you.
then. Perfection. So, so if we have meeting stuff, Cheryl,
We do.
then let's go ahead and go there now.
Okay,
Thank you all.
all right.
I'm cutting this short because there's no point in wasting your time.
I think this was the least wasteful time I've spent all week, or maybe for a month. So, thanks, Mike. No, that was a shot in the arm, and I think exactly what I needed. I can't speak for other people, but let's start with Ann Whitetree. Ann, do you have some membership things?
Yes, first, I just want to again thank our guests, Cindy Knight and Lori Williams, for being here and maybe being our bases. Woohoo! Birthdays. Tomorrow is Josie's birthday. the
Yay.
5th.
Yay.
Happy
Yay.
birthday.
And a little bit early, Laura Lambert's is going to be on the 9th. So I wanted to say
Happy birthday. Laura.
Yay.
Happy day.
yay. And I'm doing this kudo just because this is what I feel like doing. It's actually for me, but it relates to contest because I earned, it's called a Distinguished Toastmaster. It's a speech organization for the highest levels. That means I had to continually practice and learn and do leadership and do all that. And they even spelled my name right in the back.
Good on you.
So I'm giving myself kudos for that. It was a lot of work. Okay.
And I have another kudo.
Yes.
Laura Lambert is a new grandma.
Yay.
Little boy, Robert.
Woo. Yes, I believe that is it because I believe you're going to say the other information. So
And
yes, dear.
did you mention about Chris?
Yes, I was just about, I wrote it down and forgot.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Jody. Chris is on a leave of absence for the month of January, and she will be back ready to go. Thank you, Jody. That's all I have.
Thank you. Okay, we have some good news too. And I'm speaking as a member of Snapshot Quartet, and Laura is here. Chris is here in spirit, but we wanted to let you know that Melody has retired. She has just determined the effort to come down during COVID is great for her. And she's also found a whole world of art that you can see her on Facebook, that she is immersed in and loving. So just felt her time was better spent close to home. And we love that she was able to make that decision as hard as it was for us to accept. So we will miss Melody. But
we're happy to say that our dear friend, Cindy Knight, has agreed that she would like to sing bass with us. So
Yes.
Snapshot carries on into the next iteration with the
Awesome.
beautiful Cindy singing bass with us. Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you.
Yay.
Awesome. Yay.
And we already know it sounds good because of the show.
Pressure's on.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, thanks for that. Alice already gave her a report about the Christmas show. I just wanted to remind people that we will be looking for a show team for next fall's show. So next year we will have a show in the fall, not a Christmas show. It'll be a whole different beast. And so we need 3 people to work on the Christmas show team. This has been this year a good team, and everybody worked hard, but we kept it simple and we kept it manageable, and I think that was the key. So anyway, I would encourage any of you who are interested in working on a show. I've had one volunteer express an interest already, so let me know if you want to do that. I will also check the interest sheets when we get back to they're all hiding at the church, so we haven't had access to them. So I'll look for there. Also, volunteers for our nominating committee. This is one of the most important teams that we have in our chorus, putting together a group of 3-ish people who are able to discern leadership roles for our chorus. We are looking for a new team coordinator. My time is up. And we're looking for events, right? Events. That one's been unfilled for quite a while. And membership, which is where Anne is right now. Anne could decide to re-up for that. She could if she wanted to. That's up to her. So we need volunteers for that nominating committee. And if you don't come to me, I'll come to you. That's kind of how it works. We've had a little glitch in our social pages, a good thing, bad thing. Do you remember back the 1st of December, we were asking people to get post our advertising for our show to all of our friends and getting them to subscribe to our YouTube page and all the things. And somewhere in that mishmash, we had a whole slug of people be invited to our social member page on Facebook. So just a reminder that was inadvertent, it was accidental, it will be fixed. But those people know. But just a reminder that social page is for members only. Once you decide you don't want to be a member, you go chapter at large, then you no longer have access to that page. So it's intended for us to be able to put our choreography up there and our crazy, funny things that we want to do and not worry about the public presence in that. So just keep that in mind. As people become members, we will invite them to that page. Next week is Heavy Metal Week. So I gotta sort these through. Grab your medals. I know that we're not supposed to wear these in public with our ribbons on them. Is there anybody out there who will rat on us if we wear them? Oh, Jody, thank you. Not that I thought you would rat.
And
Question, where does next week's meeting take place?
It will take place at the church.
Yeah.
Well, unless there happens to be an event of snow. So here's a piece of personal responsibility. And Mike's talking about learning music, but I would say it's your personal responsibility to look and find the messages that will be sent. We won't leave you in the dark, but you need to find them and you need to follow them. So I've had several emails or several texts that people have been blocked out and can't get on. They all got the message. It's all there.
So is it going to be emailed or?
Consolation,
social-
my phone says it's gonna be sunny on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. My
We
phone
would.
said that.
We
My
shouldn't worry
phone's
about it.
always right, yes.
Barb, I think the best way for us to get it out is by email, and if
Okay,
Carrie and I send it out, it'll be on chorus, the chorus headed from Spirit Spokane Chorus.
and
But
I should have,
also
I
be on
should
the
have looked.
It'll be on the Facebook pages too.
By 3:30 today, it was on email, Facebook, social page, Facebook, regular page, and our website.
Yeah, and I think I looked at it about 1:30. So I was too early.
Again, we're waiting until the last
Yeah,
minute, really.
and that was my bad.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
okay.
apologize. I apologize for that. Okay.
It's okay.
But I know how much better it will be to help you if we're there.
Yeah.
And so I was the one that dragged my feet today, and it was reluctant to go, mainly because it was not an issue here in the valley. The snow didn't last very long and the roads are wet, but that's it. But because of the outlying reaction, and I know that that's how weather works, so I was able to say, okay, I'll go with it. But I am pushing hard for live in person. And I promise to try not to wait till 6:30. I'll make that much of a concession, and I promise to you. Okay?
Well, wish us luck, everybody.
Yeah.
Jody?
Yeah, Cheryl, just a confirmation on the show committee. That's for next year. I know we alternate, so next year is a fall show. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, okay. And then I saw an extended forecast for next week, and we know that can change, but right now it's showing next week pretty much being dry. So let's hope that stays, or mild, you know.
So
And
everybody
then,
can have a drink to take.
Yeah, there
to
you go.
Make that work
And then
better.
next week, Ann and I will be doing the fourth quarter attendance recognitions. So we look forward to that too.
So to go along with that, it's Heavy Metal Day next Tuesday because it's our anniversary of our chorus, our 33rd anniversary. Am I right? I keep messing it up. I keep saying 32nd. 33rd anniversary. We're going to have root beer floats celebration at 6 o'clock, from 6 to 6, 20, 25, something like that. So come and have a root beer float with everybody and a few ha-has, and you don't have to drink it if you don't want to, Tammy.
Tammy, I'll figure something out so that you have something.
There you go.
I suppose I should be responsible for that.
Management team, we're meeting on the 19th, if I have my dates correct, at 5:30 Zoom meet. Okay. So we will see you there. And
There it
that's
is.
all I have. Does anybody else have anything pressing to share?
I thought that was the Matt team meeting was on the 18th.
Well,
I said
she
management team.
management team on the 19th. Matt, we can meet on the 18th, and we can do it at the church as far as I'm concerned. Because we've kind of shifted into that. So let's plan on that. So yay, I get to go to back-to-back days. Oh, well.
You don't have to go very far.
That's true. That's true. Okay, you guys, thank you for being here. I'm excited. Oh, yes, Carrie.
So earlier this afternoon, I picked 2 words, kind of like, what's the word? And I'll have you know that Mike said energy tonight 4 different times.
I'm slipping.
Pick up the energy, man. And the other word I chose was snow. Mike said it 2 times only. Cheryl said it 1, Taffy said it 1, and Jody said it 1. So we really did not focus on the snow. Good job. Good job.
Just an aside too, next Tuesday night on Heavy Metal Night is my 70th birthday.
Oh,
Yay,
wow.
congratulations.
I expect a crown and no.
We'll,
I'm
You're
we'll,
gonna get a root beer float.
Yeah, I get a root beer float, yeah.
we'll
A
put all of our
different
medals
crown.
around your neck to see how you hold
Oh,
up. How's
no.
that?
I've got mine on a pin, so I'm.
Yeah,
you can
that's
put it on.
because
Yeah.
you're legal.
You got
Yeah.
it. Thanks, little sis. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, thank you very much for your time tonight, ladies. Here we go.
Bye.
Night.
Bye.
Onward and upward.
Hi, everybody.
Cheryl, I took notes throughout the whole meeting. I missed a few here and there, but
Perfect. Perfect, Carrie. That was a worthy note-taking meeting. I took some notes too. So.
so I'll send them to you and then
Okay.
combine ours together, and
Okay. That'd be great. Thank you.
good to see you guys.
Good to see you. Good to see you, Sherry. How's school?
Crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just kind of in that influx of how long is this going to last? So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and I'm being a bear about making kids wear masks because my kids are really bad about it. I just,
Sure
you know,
they
my
are.
population, and I'm saying, guys, you know, if you want to see me and be at school every day, you've got to put your mask up.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of really trying to play my card now, but it's hard. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really difficult right now.
Yeah, that's too bad.
It's middle school.
Yeah, well, yeah, and these middle school kids just really don't think it's happening. I mean, it's just like oh, it's a drink, I'm drinking, and that's why my mask, yeah, whatever. But sure, I was going to tell you that I don't mind helping with the nominating committee, but there's a few nights that I might be late, and that's what I'm concerned about. So I didn't want to commit to something.
Well, I think the nominating committee can take their own time frame.
Okay.
They do it whenever they want. So
Well,
it's kind of separate from the chorus.
I don't really know what to do, but I would be willing to help.
That would be awesome. I think Carrie has volunteered too.
Okay. Well, if she can take me under the wing, that, yeah, like I said, I'm just, yeah, I have some I have some trainings I have to do.
Nominating committee for 8 years and I've been on it once, so.
Well, we try to move it around a little bit.
Yeah, so if you need the blood, I'm here. If you don't,
It falls on the same people over and over and over and over.
Sometimes it does, yeah.
Yeah,
So it's good to know.
just move it on to new people. It falls on the same people because it's easy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, well. Hi, Phil.
hi.
How's Randy?
Well,
Good.
Good.
He's good.
He's coming soon, isn't he? February?
Yeah. Yes, he's coming in February.
And
Yes.
how's his knee?
Getting better.
Did he have a replacement surgery?
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
look, guys, we have a quartet.
True. We have all four parts.
Sorry, I just had to say that. It just cracked me up. At least today it's a quartet. Who knows? Like with all the bases straight, I might be back in baritone. So
That was the biggest laugh of the night for me. When you said, what part am I, Mike?
Well, I just kind of want to know which piece of music to look at.
That would be nice.
Yeah, but I'm flexible enough that if he says on next Monday that I'm back to baritone, I'm good with that. So don't think you want me in lead or tenor. Just saying, guys. I could wing it for a second, but you probably wouldn't like the sound. So, all right, have a great night, guys.
All right, good night.
Night.
All right.
You guys ready to go? I'll end the meeting.
Yep, I'm sending the minutes that I took tonight to you right now, and then
I'll take a look tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
I feel good to see you. Love you. Mwah.
Bye-bye. See you, Phyllis.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.